Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with another Path of Exile guide or video, whatever. I'm gonna try that intro one more time actually. Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with another Path of Exile video. In this one, we're gonna talk about League starters for 3.18. Now, I'm not going to make this a fancy big video where I tell you to play the same thing that I did in 3.17. Instead, I'm just going to talk about the different approaches that today actually, we uploaded a video where we made a tier list for the actual videos, build guides that I have, every single one of them. In this tier list, there's a lot of information of how I would grade my actual build guides themselves. And obviously the League starters is mostly in line with this. I'd say Absolution, Meixsell, EA, Ballista, Dark Pact, they would all work really fine. But instead I wanted to talk about the builds that might not be as promoted by other streamers and other content creators. Everybody knows that these things will be good. Everybody knows that Detonate Dead will be great. Everybody knows that Seismic Trap will be fine. And most people know that things like Poison Concoction will be fine. And if you don't know, well, now you do. And instead of just showing those and being like, yo, here's 5 League starters, it's the exact same thing I promoted back in 3.17. Let's talk about some builds that is working really fine as League starters that you might not have heard of. So to avoid postponing and prolonging this video, we're going to be in a position where I will first mention things like Spectral Helix with a lot of different variations will work very well. Not sure if there's many other content creators that will promote that as an approach. I personally don't have a guide for this. However, it will be a very, very good League starter for sure. Something else that can work really fine is the Cold Dot Occultist Vortex build, or you can also do Wintertide with Vortex. This, for example, I do have a build guide for right here. The build guide links will be in the description below. This is also mentioned in the tier list video that I made, so that's definitely something you can look into when it comes to a League starter as the Cold Dot build from the Occultist department. Another version of builds that you can play would be Fire Trap. I'm not a big fan of Fire Trap as League starters. However, what I will do is bring a big shout out to my boy Pox, who makes tons of content when it comes to Righteous Fire. Basically, he doesn't have just one version. He has plenty of versions. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he leveled 4 different Righteous Fire characters to level 100 during 3.17. The dude knows what he's talking about. Let's put it that way. It's been the to-go-to guy for Righteous Fire for many years now. And if there's any Righteous Fire builds that you think look interesting, I can be sure to tell you that Pox knows everything about it. Check out his content when it comes to League starting as a Righteous Fire build. We have a few other builds that can work really fine as well that I don't have guides for League starting, which would be things like Bone Shatter Slayer will work really, really well. There will also be the Earth Shatter Slayer will work really fine as a League starter as well. And I don't think I've seen any video promoting these builds as a League starter, unless I missed it somewhere. So these builds could definitely work really well. I think that Kinetic Blast and Tornado Shot with the Corrupting Fever is viable. The thing is with those two builds is that I believe that they will require a bit more information and at least some knowledge about how the build functions so that you know how to gear it to improve its efficiency as you're leveling. But I'm very confident that if you do have that information, they will work very well in 3.18. Other things would be Spark Inquisitor, which I know got a lot of attention during the middle stage of 3.17. That will work very well in 3.18 as a League starter as well, for that matter. Same thing with Creeping Frost, actually. I'm not a big fan of that at all myself, but that should also work as a really solid League starter. We also have a few other things that I think will be pretty fine. I wanted to say Shield Crush. I know that me and Kriparian were talking about a Shield Crush Occultist. The problem with that build is that actually it doesn't really have any problems. It's just it's an Occultist that's carrying the build's clearing through Profane Bloom. But it was a really cool build. I might actually play that to make a guide for that during 3.18, so stay tuned for that. But I think that most things that uses Profane Bloom with the Occultist can actually work really well. So most poison-oriented builds with that will work fine.
Welcome to the crew.
Thanks so much, Bolton Squad, for the 4 months. Another build I wanted to talk about a little bit more in depth is actually Holy Relic. I made a video guide and there will be a written guide up very soon about this build. This build is really, really, really good for League starting. It's, in my opinion, one of those builds that has an extremely good efficiency per currency invested, especially on a low budget. I remember having Ashes of the Stars and maybe a grand total of 2.5 Exaltas invested on the build using a Tabula Rasa, and I killed Cortex with it, which is absolutely crazy. There is, let's see if there's a timestamp for this. I did test the survivability of this build in the map. In this video, I literally sit with a tabula and just face tank everything just to show the survivability. As you can see here, this is the survivability of a low budget approach of the Holy Relic in a tier 16 semi-juiced map. And it's not immortal. It's definitely not immortal. It can die. It's just very unlikely that it will die. And the reason for this is that this build uses the instilling orbs on the flask to pop them automatically. And as you can see, I eventually died in this map there. And I believe that map was with reduced block on, which is one of the most scariest map mods you can do. As you can see here in the gameplay footage now I'll pop a map that has some extra cold, physical extra cold damage. There's no reduced block in this map. And in this map, I actually had a much smoother survivability. The chaos damage here can be a bit scary. I think it died to the chaos damage here actually, which would be the only thing that would be scary. Is you can drop pretty low because of the chaos damage alone. But again, it's very unlikely that a build like this dies even on super low budget, and that's kind of what you want. You want a build that can effectively and smoothly handle higher tier content without dying. A few things to mention with this approach, obviously, with a builds like this, is that the most expensive item is the shield, which is a Shaper or Crusader influence shield with life recovery on block. And what's really cool with that is obviously that you go for max block cap, and with the automatic uses of the flask with the instilling orbs, which doesn't cost much at all, you find these orbs yourself, you can make this a build like this very, very reliable and tanky. What's really cool though when it comes to these things is actually that, as you can see, I'm taking a lot of hits. But when you're playing the game, you're not going to stand stationary taking hits 24/7. Most of these projectiles will actually be missing you and not hitting you. So therefore, you're taking a lot more damage in a showcase like I'm doing here. You can see the enemies are actually dying from my Tempest shield, which is pretty funny. And also in the showcase I was showing, I didn't use my zombies, which will give me more layers of defense, and I didn't use life gain on hit on my Static Strike or Cyclone. So again, there are ways to make a build like this extremely good in survivability for almost no currency at all. No, you don't need Ashes of the Stars to achieve this level of tankiness. And with a higher budget, you'll have more energy shield. As I'm showing the Divine Shield, I only have 157 ES, so that barely matters at this point. So this kind of sums up how effective a build like this could be in terms of a league start scenario, which is essentially the main goal that I'm trying to get at with this video, to talk about 3.18 starters. It will be the same as 3.17, but just because the meta builds remains the same, that doesn't mean there are other options for you out there. So I hope this video gave you some more information and a little bit more light on which type of builds that you could choose to play. And keep in mind that even if the meta builds will have a generically better efficiency for your game time, ultimately this game is, well, it's just that. It is a game. So make sure you play something you have fun with. And I hope this list helped you out to decide which build you'll be starting in 3.18. But let me know in the comments below which build you'll be playing. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe and keep rocking.